to the Lock Shop with Nielsen and Hustler.
What is up, Lock Shoppers? Welcome to the Lock Shop, presented by Play Alberta, live right here in Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, presented by, Play Alberta as well. They present both just the Lock Shop, but also Edmonton Sports Talk in general. Thank you to everyone for tuning in across the Edmonton Sports Talk audio streams at edmontonsportstalk.com. Tune in, iHeartRadio. Thank you to those watching on YouTube, listening on podcast, wherever you hear podcasts. We already got our first bet of the Lock Shop that I'll have to go throw in. Casino Dealer J, luxury tax plate, Jays, Yankees, Dodger, money line. Run it back, please. Let's do it. Copy. Paste. We'll throw that up there. There's been a couple plays that have already been thrown up over at Play Alberta from today. But let me quickly send this one in for Casino Dealer J. So, boom. Boom. Sent. Play Alberta. Download the app, visit playalberta.ca. If you click on EST specials, it is populated with a bunch of stuff. We've got a bunch of NFL plays going into the future plays, an NHL future play, the Red Blacks to go 0-18 this season, and a couple plays for this upcoming weekend in the Canadian Football League. But then what has also been thrown up, Duck Dads. These teams will score, both teams to score in 3 different soccer games. There's Groningen and Sittard. I don't even know which league that one's in. Wrexham, Birmingham City, as well as Atletico Ottawa versus Inter Toronto. That is plus 330. The first game gets going at noon, so you got a little under an hour to bet on that one. And then we saw lines for Labor Day weekend already on Play Alberta for the CFL weekend. So you've got the 4 games this weekend, but we already have 4 games scheduled for next weekend. And the Edmonton Elks are underdogs going into that one. Well, the slightest of underdogs. They were plus 1.5. Money line, they were minus 103. Calgary's minus 130. So the slightest of underdogs in that one. So we got it boosted. It's plus 110. If you think the Edmonton Elks are going to come back after their bye week, head to Calgary and get a Labor Day victory, you're not going to get better plus money, I don't think, than right now. It's plus 110. Depending what Calgary does tomorrow without Vernon Adams, if they could pull off a victory against the Hamilton Tiger Cats and do it in a very convincing fashion, maybe that moves the line a little bit towards Calgary's favor going into that Labor Day set. But if not, I don't know if you're going to necessarily see the line of Elks. I should see if I can get that. The line's now already been moved to minus 2 for Calgary. I wonder if I can get this one redone. Because it's plus 105 now. I'm just going to ask if they could update it as the line has moved a bit. Sorry for the pauses here. I just type. When I type, I just either I have to say what I'm typing or I have to be silent. I can't talk about something else while I'm that's one thing I can't multitask, is talk about something else over here while I'm typing something else over here. Hashtag justice for the Lock Shop. Yes, hashtag justice for the Lock Shop. A little bit of... We don't need to get into it. We don't need to get into it. But we're coming up on the SDs in a couple of weeks, so the voting will come out soon. Lock Shop of the Year would be unbelievable. Or the Lock Shop being Show of the Year would be unbelievable. So... Baptized Big Uke. So those of us that played it lose out on value. Damn it. Well, it's the same as if you played, if you just went straight up to Play Alberta and you bet on it at minus 103, and then this line has now moved to plus 105, you lose out on that. And you'd have to rebet it to get that value. So that's the same with our plays there. But we're seeing if maybe we can get Play Alberta. They said sure. So maybe we'll get that moved. Again, I don't know, depending what they get that to. I don't know how many times this season you're going to see the Edmonton Elks at a better value. So if you believe in the Edmonton Elks and you think that they're going to go get that done, that might be a play to go through without question. With Huss today, we'll have to get his thoughts on Hellebuyck. Well, I actually, we've talked about Hellebuyck before. I kind of just want to move forward on this and go, where do we go from here in Winnipeg? What are they looking for? Cash had a great question in the Hangout going, what would the return be? What do the Jets want, though? Do they want a rebuild? Do they want a hybrid? So I Huss will be a great answer for what's going on with Hellebuyck and where the Jets are going to move forward with that one. We got a CFL weekend to look at. Maybe Huss and I could do a touchdown parlay play for that one. We've got week 0 in NCAA football. Maybe we could look at that one. And maybe I'll just have to pick a couple games. Actually, before Huss is here, Hernan, you're here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just pick a couple EPL games.
Just on Huss, too, I tuned into Winnipeg Sports Talk yesterday and kind of forwarded to where the news dropped live on his show. And
yeah,
also it is, Huss and Remus were very calm. Like, there was no, just they giggled a little bit. But I found them extremely calm for the blockbuster news that Hellebuyck made it official. So kudos to them for being, they're pros, Matty. I kind of
people are saying he was fired up on Twitter though last night.
I'll align it to if Draisaitl 3 years from now asked for a trade, I'd probably lose my mind on the air. But I give the Winnipeg boys some credit here. Everybody was just calm, cool, collected, rational. It was really good, man. It was really good to break down. Then he had, I think, Ken Wiebe on right as the news broke. It was just a great back and forth, and I'm sure it's dominating all those sports shows out in Winnipeg today. Because, man, what a news drop on a Thursday.
Okay, when you come back later, we'll just quick a couple. We'll go through the EPL weekend and try to pick 3 games.
Well, you know who I'm taking.
We're not doing that one.
Why?
I'm not doing a parlay that involves that.
But why?
Because I'm not betting against my team, dude.
A draw?
No. I am not doing that to my team, dude. United is staying off that entirely. You're just trying, okay, I'm going to maybe do this without you.
No, I want to do it.
Okay, well, we're not taking City or Palace because that gets going at 1 o'clock today, so that one's out. And so we will definitely, and we're not doing United. I'm just not putting United into this. You could go look at some other things. Let's bring him in. Huss from Winnipeg Sports Talk. He joins us last time before we won't see him for a few weeks, which is it's going to be sad not to see this beautiful face with us, but we'll enjoy it all the entire show today. And Huss, we're going to start with Hellebuyck. And look, we knew there was a trade request. We knew all about that. I guess more so, there's a couple things. We don't need to relitigate why this trade request is there or anything like that. Let's go into starting with just how is Winnipeg handling the news yesterday that it became public from Connor Hellebuyck and his agent that he's asked it for a trade. Oh, can Huss not hear us? Is Huss commenting? Okay, yeah, no worries. Can we hear it? Can you hear me now, Huss? Can you hear me now?
Boom. Now I can.
Woo! Look at that. Sweet. Okay. So you didn't really miss much there. Hernan was giving you and Remus a lot of credit for being on your show yesterday and being quite calm with the breaking news of Hellebuyck. I don't really want to go back and relitigate the whole why he's asking for a trade, because we've known this trade request for a while, but now that it is officially public, I guess what was the reaction in Winnipeg that the fact that him and his agent came out with the statement saying he wants to trade? How was Winnipeg fans reacted to that?
Listen, Matty, I guess the people that I interact the most with, like the WSTers that are with us every day, this wasn't a surprise to anybody.
No.
This is not, no kidding. We've known this all summer long. Listen, there are some people that are mad, obviously, like, oh, this is terrible, get them out. But the more we talk about it, I don't think this really changes anything. I think it's sort of a panic move, to be honest, by a guy whose wife's probably pretty rattled that they don't know where they're putting their kids in school next week or this
That's
week
a good point.
if they're in the States. And, but the situation's the same. He's got a trade request. They have been trying to appease him and make it happen. But there is a, the bottom line is Kevin Cheveldayoff works for the Winnipeg Jets. He's not Hellebuyck's agent. He needs to, the people talk about, oh, this ramps up the public pressure. I don't know what it's like in other markets, but I'll tell you straight up, the pressure in Winnipeg is not to just get rid of him. It's to facilitate a trade that helps the Winnipeg Jets. Now, some might be packages that could be a shorter term. I think most people, I would say, probably would like a mix of something now, but a little bit more for the future, just based on where this team is. But I mean, as they say, like I when I look at this, knowing what we've known ever since the end of the season, we heard his availability. We knew that that was a possibility. And then, listen, and I know that he said, you know, I'm here, I'm at this age, I need to win a Stanley Cup. I mean, that's the easy thing to say publicly. I think there's way more that goes into that. You know, we've talked a lot about the American players and how they were treated once they came back to Canada and what they're seeing in the group chat, what all their other teammates are enjoying, being gold medalists, playing down there. I think there is some idiots out there that, you know, that don't behave rationally, that lashed out any way you can. And, oh, his wife's Instagram might be a good place to go. I mean, I don't think they were feeling probably that welcome or as comfortable as they'd been before.
You never touch families.
Yeah, it's a joke. But anyways, I mean, the bottom line is it doesn't really matter why. He's requested a trade. This has made it official. And I still believe that this trade happens when Chevy gets the asking price that he's going for the greatest Jet ever to wear the jersey.
Well, so then, but like, because I'm with you, we all knew that the trade request was there, but now that it's public, and where I disagree with you slightly, possibly on Twitter, where I could see this possibly impacting a deal is the fact that it's now public. Does this make it, is he trying to just force Chevy's hand to just get a trade done? Like, is he, what a concern is there right now that maybe he doesn't show up to training camp? Because why drop this?
I mean, I think he or someone around him feels that this is going to put the feet to the fire. But I'm sorry, like anyone that's been paying to the Winnipeg Jets for the last 15 years and watch Kevin Cheveldayoff operate knows that he is not going to be forced into doing something that they doesn't believe is in the best interest of the team. Like this isn't the first time that someone's requested a trade. And if you want to know how this works out, feel free to pick up the phone and holler at Evander Kane, Jacob Trouba, Patrick Laine, Pierre-Luc Dubois. All four of those guys, for different reasons, wanted out. I mean, Trouba was the public. I mean, I don't know if you remember Kurt Overhart's public trade requests where they talk about fulfilling his lifelong dream of being a top pairing right side defenseman because he was playing on the left side for a little bit. And it was pure comedy. How did that end? Well, he didn't play for the first month of the season, then signed a 2-year deal in the middle of November. So, I mean, this is going to go one of two ways. Chevy's going to re-engage with some of these teams and get something that he feels palatable and it gets done. And if not, then the choice is going to be Hellebuyck. Does he come back and play and, you know, see whenever he gets dealt? Or does he stay home? Could do that. But I'm afraid that if he does that, he could be waiting a while and he could be a very underpaid assistant coach of his 6-year-old's hockey team and not playing in the NHL and not making $8.5 million this year.
Well, and that's why I'm very intrigued if he's going to show up or not, because and there's maybe a good reason I'm not a GM, and because I'd be a little emotional in this, and I'd be like, hey, this is a 5-year deal. Good luck in free agency 5 years from now when you don't play hockey for the next 5 years type thing.
Hey, one important thing to note, too. And
the trade, the protection change?
Yeah, and I will say this, like, to their credit, I don't think this has been like a joke Dylan Larkin request where I want out and trade me to the Panthers or the Vegas Golden Knights. Like, it was very clear when all reports were that he was green lighting a trade to the Buffalo Sabres, that this was not about just going to the top contender and the easiest path to winning a cup.
This isn't reuniting the Olympic team in
but
certain.
At the end of this year, that full no move turns into a 10-team list. And I'm not sure whether it's at 10 right now or around, but I mean, there is that change. Like, sooner or later, it's going to get done. But I mean, something has to change. I don't think Cheveldayoff's ask is changing. So I mean, I guess there's the possibility that one of these owners kind of sees this and maybe they've been a little bit out of the loop and kind of gets in. This guy, he's a Presidential Medal of Freedom winner. We could get that. That guy would put some asses in seats. That would help us. Maybe that helps things move along to up the offer. But the other side of it is that, you go into the season and a good team loses a goaltender for a long time and all of a sudden has a massive hole, and that changes their level of need. And that's when a deal gets done. That's where I'm sitting right now. Like, I know Cheveldayoff well enough to know that he's not going to be bullied into trading the best player in franchise history for 50 cents or 75 cents on the dollar just because Ray Petkow decided to fire up his Twitter account yesterday.
Well, I'll say that you bring up an interesting point that I never thought of, and maybe this isn't putting the feet of Kevin Cheveldayoff's feet to the fire. Maybe it's putting other GM's feet to the fire, going like, go get me. Like, I'm ready to come. Go pay the price to Kevin, and I will come and I will help you go win a Stanley Cup. Buffalo, why are you just go pay their price? And maybe that's kind of what they're trying to hope here is, or now that he does this, maybe there's another team. Well, look, Buffalo's closing in, but we really maybe we just go pay the price and we could scoop Buffalo in this one or something like that. So maybe there's a level to that one here. The best thing if I was advising would be go play. And try it. It's not easy for teams necessarily just to trade assets to go right before a season. This may have to take until the offseason. But the best thing that you can do is go play your best because it increases the value that somebody then will pay the price to Kevin Cheveldayoff, and you could then move on. And that might not be what he wants to hear, but when you have 5 years left on your contract, as opposed to like a Brady Tkachuk, who is a lot less.
Yes,
there's a lot more of you can wait if you're Kevin Cheveldayoff. The other teams aren't gonna be like, well, we'll just watch this clock tick and your value just keeps dropping. When there's 5 years, that value stays high for a number of those years still. So why rush that if you're Cheveldayoff?
Definitely. I mean, if he did come back, and because this is the one thing that we've some fans certainly bring it up, but I mean, his resume is unparalleled right now in the league, outside of maybe a Vasilevsky. But he didn't have a great year last year. Now, neither did the team.
And got injured.
You think of Hellebuyck last year, you think of him stealing a gold medal from us in one game. But overall, I mean, his play dropped off a bit, as did the team. And, you can argue about the reasons for all of that. But if all of a sudden he comes back and there's a whole bunch of issues around the team, and everyone's wondering when this trade's going to happen and has a real negative effect, and his numbers aren't great. I mean, that's the one way you could diminish the asset. So, I mean, to be frank, I think him not being there at the start of camp might be the best thing for all parties involved. But if it's not done at the start of October, he's going to have a major decision to make. Whether he becomes, and this never happens. Guys with contracts don't not show up in the NHL. Do you know when the last time this happened of a player with a contract decided I'm not going? It was Alexei Yashin in the 90s. And what's interesting about that is he ended up missing the entire season. So, as I say, listen, Helly's rich. He's got a lot of money. This is a person that could actually handle not making $8.5 million, unlike the rest of us. But again, it's a major move to go and do that. That does have potential repercussions that history will tell you that the guy on the other side of it that truly has the decision in his hands is not going to bend over or break because it's a little more public now than it was before. So it will be fascinating. I mean, tell you what, great for business for us. We should send a case of beer or something to Ray Petkow. And he timed it perfectly about 40 minutes into the show. And he lives in Steinbach. So he's just outside the city. It would be funny if he was sitting in his office. Okay, let's see what we've got here and going through. But it definitely spiked the numbies yesterday on the show, and probably will continue to do so as we get through the next few weeks before the season.
Is this a good or a bad thing for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to have this news as you guys get set to host the Montreal Alouettes? Nice. Everyone's focused on that. So whatever happens tonight type thing.
It is kind of funny because, through this last month where everything's been deathly quiet, pumped at home by the Stamps, incredibly embarrassing loss to the BC Lions. And then that game last week, like we've been talking a lot of Bombers and it hasn't really been very fun conversations. And we've been spoiled here for a long time in Winnipeg for the last decade or so. So I think turning the heat down a little bit on the Bombers or maybe taking people's attention off of it is something that is not a bad thing. But listen, the place is still going to be full tonight. It's still Friday night in the summer and the Bombers are playing and it's a huge opportunity to do something against the best team in the league. I will tell you that I don't think optimism is very high. I don't think there's a lot of people running to the book and laying down Bomber money line bets. But at the same point, Josh Frey-Sam came on yesterday from the Free Press. And he said, I'm going to have a little bit of a different take on this. And he said, despite how bad things went in the second half, seeing the way they played as a team overall in that first half, or say first 25 minutes, was the best that we've seen them at all year. And it's not even close. So they did show that they're capable of being better. Now, they haven't put a full 60 together. They haven't been consistent. But he was of the opinion that while everyone's freaking out, and I mean, it's recency bias, like what do you remember about that game? They blew it in the second half and they couldn't do anything right. They did show something in that Edmonton game. And if they could do that for a heck of a lot more than the 45% of the game they did against Edmonton, maybe they can have a chance. But they're up against it tonight. I mean, we've talked a lot about the Montreal Alouettes this year for a good reason on the Lock Shop. They are the class of the league right now. And I'm sure they're rolling into the peg, licking their chops to be playing in a great atmosphere in front of a full house and getting a chance to, go to 10-1 and remain on top of the league.
Well, it's the site of Davis Alexander's first ever loss as a professional quarterback in the Canadian Football League as he lost the Grey Cup game there last year. So we'll see if he has any flashbacks or just nerves because of that. Obviously, for the Bombers, if they're going to go win this football game, Brady's going to have a big game. It starts there, and then Collaros is going to have to push the ball a little bit more downfield for the entire. Like you're right. Like through that first half, he was moving that ball very well down the field, and then it just stopped in the second half. So they're going to have to do that for the full game. Defensively, is this Bombers defense though ready to handle Sneed and Philpott? Because no one has an answer to that one. No one has been able to really contain them. Are the Bombers going to be able to do that tonight? Because if you could at the very least contain one of those guys, more specifically, I would say Philpott over Sneed, that levels that playing field where maybe there's a victory there for the Montreal Alouettes, even though they also still have Travis Tice there, who's been a great running back for them.
I mean, based on the body of work through 10 games, I don't like their chances. I mean, the worst thing about the Bomber secondary is that it's been pretty good at times. I think Major Williams is a player. Moxie coming over has been sort of disappointing. I mean, he's made a few plays, but then at the end of that Edmonton game, the tackling at times has been atrocious. And that missed tackle by Moxie in the final minute of the game against Edmonton was a real sore spot. Because if he makes that tackle, they're still in really long field goal range, with a second down. And whoever it was that caught the ball, I think made about another 15, 16 yards after that. And it was pretty much over at that point, knowing that Blanchard would be able to do it. I mean, Seabreeze BC says it all. Everything has to click for a Bomber win tonight. And who knows? Maybe the Alouettes have been listening to our shows and of us gassing them up all the time, and maybe they come in a little confident. But there's losses still coming to the Montreal Alouettes. They're not going to be a one-loss team all year. Yeah, well, and listen, this is the sort of time when you look back. If I told you, in the future that, oh yeah, this was the game that Montreal came in and lost. I mean, traditionally been a very tough place to play. This year, that hasn't been the case. I mean, it wouldn't be shocking. What is a little shocking, though, is to see a +7 beside the Bombers.
Yes.
Or 7.5. Matt, Derek Taylor went through. I should pull this up because I was asking, like, on the show, when was the last time that the Bombers were this big of an underdog at home? Here it is. Shout out to DT, voice of the Bombers on CGOB. The Bombers are 7-point underdog to the Alouettes via Play Now. The last time they were this big a home underdog was week 1 of 2018 when they were 7-point dogs to Edmonton.
That makes sense.
The last time they were a bigger underdog than 7 points, regardless of location, was 2015 in week 14 versus Calgary when they were 9-point dogs. So it's time to step up for the boys tonight because it doesn't get any easier after this. Well, maybe it does because I think we've said that Montreal's the best team, but those 2 games against Saskatchewan are also going to be really tough. I'll tell you what, even if they play, like I don't expect them to win tonight, but if they can be better, if they can hang with Montreal, if they can, be in that game so they can build off that, Saskatchewan is in sort of a tough spot right now. I mean, they're banged up. They're 6-4. And look at history. You can often throw the records out on Labor Day and in the Banjo Bowl when these teams play together. So, I mean, it's not cut and dry. This team is going to be 5-8 in a month, but this is certainly the toughest spot on the schedule, and they're going to need everything to go their way. And I would suggest the crowd to be a big impact in the game, which is easier said than done.
What do you prefer tomorrow? Because Calgary will not have Vernon Adams. It will be Josh Love behind center. Rene Paredes come back for Calgary. They're taking on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. What's the better victory? Because Hamilton wins, they all of a sudden have 5 wins. And the crossover, that's who you're needing to pass, possibly, or Toronto. But Toronto and then both will be at 5. But then Calgary, so they would get up to the 5, but Calgary stays below.
Hammer has 7 losses.
Hamilton's at 7, so they would move to 5-7. So if Winnipeg lost, let's say hypothetically, based off the line, they'd be 5-6. So they'd have a game in hand, but I don't know when that game in hand would be played.
Yeah, Montreal
it'd be played. It would be played on the rematch weekend when Winnipeg's taking on Saskatchewan for the rematch. That would be the game in hand. So you'd have to win at least one of those 2.
That is a great question. I don't think it's obvious on either side. I think you could make an argument on either one, but I think I would still prefer the Ticats to win because the Ticats do have that 7th loss. And when you shake it all down, I think that Calgary is still a dangerous team that, put it this way, I think it'll be harder to get 4th in the West than it will be to be ahead of the 3rd place team in the East. So kind of 60-40 on that one. I'll rationalize the result no matter what happens for the Bombers. But I think if you ask me right now, see the Ticats get a win in Calgary.
I wouldn't be shocked if after all is said and done tomorrow, both Toronto and Hamilton are walking away with victories. Said that already. Toronto's already beaten Saskatchewan once. They know how to go to Saskatchewan and get that victory. And they're just going through something right now. It seems like Saskatchewan over the last number of years, they have a thing in August where they have their little bit of struggles. And I think with this injury to Vernon Adams, even though Dedrick Mills will be there, the history Trey Ford does also have going into Calgary and taking on the Stampeders has been pretty good. Like Calgary and Saskatchewan, the 2 teams he's always actually played pretty decent against. Knowing that VA is not going to be in this game, I do like Hamilton a little bit more for tomorrow's game against the Calgary Stampeders. So, hey, if the Bombers could find a victory tonight, all of a sudden, To me, I see a possibility where Winnipeg would be tied with Saskatchewan at the end of this weekend, going into that Labor Day set, and they'd be 4 points up on Calgary. And again, that's if you find that victory tonight,
that would be beautiful.
And then you're also tied. It would be a 3-way tie between Saskatchewan, BC, and Winnipeg, all at 12 points through this weekend, and Calgary sitting 6 points back, watching their season teeter. That's kind of how I see this weekend playing out. But hey, there's a reason we always play these games, and there's a reason it's called Any Given Sunday, but has implications to all of these.
What's the money line on the Bombers right now?
Money line on the Bombers is plus 231. Hamilton's 134. Toronto's 160. Actually, don't mind a Ticats Argos. Actually, Ticats Argos spread. Ticats money line with the Argos at plus 5. It's 339. Actually, don't mind that. Maybe I'll have to throw up a CFL play. Just my own CFL play for the weekend.
What about, like, could we have you intrigued me yesterday by saying you were actually on some of the Eastern teams. Interesting. I imagine now that, because I didn't know that it was official that VA
depth chart came out this morning.
What's that done to the line for the Hamilton Calgary game?
It's 3.5 minus 3.5 for Calgary. I don't remember what it was.
It was 5
throughout the week.
most of the week.
Was it? So we've seen it's a little bit of a shift there. So it's 3.5 I'm seeing. So there's been a little bit of a shift.
I bet that gets lower. I bet that gets to 3 or maybe 2.5 by the time the game goes.
Hey, Hamilton looked good against Toronto last week through the first half or so. Like the issue was that they just couldn't score touchdowns in that game. Is this going to be that opportunity that you can go get that done? So I think tomorrow's a day we're going to see the East have a day, and we're going to walk away going, oh wow, this Western Division is much tighter, and Saskatchewan isn't pulling away as much. That's where I'm going with this one right now.
This would be the insane underdog parlay, but Bombers, Ticats, Argos. I won't go so far as to put Ottawa on it, but just those 3 is like 24-1.
Do you think Ottawa could cover 7?
I do. I do think they could cover 7.
Do you want to just have some fun on a Friday?
It's almost 50-1 then.
Do you want fun on the Friday with Bombers, Argos, Ticats? You want to? We could bring the Red Blacks to like 10.5.
See,
it's the numbers already ridiculous. We could just bring it. We could take a little, move the Red Blacks to like 10.5, and they have to win by within single digits basically.
Bombers money line, Ticats money line, Argos money line, and the Red Blacks. Yeah, I mean, maybe you do put 10.5 on it. Yeah, because I have for PA with the 3 money lines and the Red Blacks at 7, it's 36-1. So we have a little bit of playing room. Yes. What is it if you just take Ottawa off? If I take Ottawa off, it's not as good as you've seen. It's 19-1. Okay. They are Friday fun. Friday. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. The big swing. Bomber. Yeah, why not? Bombers, Blue Bombers. So we got the Blue Bombers, Ticats, Argos, all money line, and Red Blacks plus 10.5. By the way, I'm intrigued because you won't be here next week. I already have lines for Labor Day weekend. Would you care to guess what the lines are going to be for Labor Day weekend? Let's do it. Let's do it. So we've got BC in Montreal on the Friday. So this is as of right now. Montreal's Montreal. BC has been excellent. I'll go Montreal minus 6.5. Nailed it. Nailed it. That's it. You got that. Over under. Do you care to guess over under? No, but it's probably big. It's probably 63. 59. Okay. They're all pretty similar to that one. Bombers in Saskatchewan. Again, as of right now. As of right now, Riders -6.
-7.
7. Okay.
So one off there. Toronto in Hamilton. Again, these two teams just met last week as well.
Argos -1.
Argos -2. So you're right. You're right there. And then Elks in Calgary.
Okay.
Wrap up Labor Day weekend.
Elks in Calgary. I guess we don't know. Do you, when you see this line, do you think that it's VA playing?
Yes.
Okay. Edmonton should be favored. Calgary's going to get the home points. I'll go Elks -2.
This line has already shifted. It started off -1.5. It went to 2, but for the Calgary Stampeders. The Stampeders are -2 favorites as of today with PA for that Labor Day. Elks are +105 on the money line. So during the hangout, I wonder if we moved this line already. During the hangout, it was -103. No, I guess we went to move it. We would have wanted to move it the other way. It was -103. It's now +105. It is on EST specials. We have this boosted for anyone that is interested.
Right.
We got it bumped up a little more. +116 for the Edmonton Elks on the money line right now on Labor Day Monday. So if you're looking for plus money on the Elks, which you probably aren't going to get many more times this season, +116 on EST special for that Labor Day Monday. -2 for the Calgary Stampeders in that one.
That's some good stuff. Hey, you know what else? You know what else we should do? Just because I am going to be away until I'll be back for Monday Night Football, Chiefs Broncos. Have you looked at the lines for the NFL Week 1?
No.
Maybe we put something together for the early, like the primetime games or something.
Well,
like
I would love. We could do that, and also it's Week 0 in college football, so we could also quickly throw a couple plays.
Oh, here we go.
NFL Week 1.
What do you have for the first 2 games?
So
Packers,
prime time is Seahawks -3.5 home to the Patriots. That's on the Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the Rams -3.5 against San Fran. Rams are home, quote unquote, but that one's in Australia.
Yeah, what a crazy trip to start the season.
Then we would have, if we're looking at prime time, Broncos Chiefs. So you're back for that one. Why do I not see the Sunday Night Football game's not showing up here?
I think the Sunday game is the Cowboys and the Giants.
So it's not. I don't have a market for that one at this moment.
Okay.
On Play Alberta. But we could just do that Wednesday, Thursday, or
Dallas.
when is it?
Yeah. What about the Wednesday, Thursday? History has told us that the Super Bowl winning teams have been very, very tough to beat when the banner's raised. But to be honest, and Seattle always has great home field advantage. That'll be an incredible crowd. That's 3 points.
Do you think Drake May could keep it close? Do you believe in the New England Patriots this year?
I mean, listen, I respect them. I think they're good. I mean, do I think they were as good like a Super Bowl quality team last year? Not really. I think they got really fortunate through the regular season and the playoffs. But I certainly believe in that Seattle defense. And I think I'll lay the points on I think I lean Seattle to go out. As I say, New England will be fine. I'm sure they'll be a playoff team this year. I don't think they'll be able to just cakewalk through a 17-game season playing like only the Bills with a winning record. But what about you?
Oh, I'm with you. I don't think the Seahawks lose this game. And I'm just of a team that I think is going to have a major step back. There's always those playoff teams, 1 or 2 that drop out. I think it's the New England Patriots. I think they're destined for that. It's also just funny just looking at the totals for these games, because we're so used to the Canadian Football League with 56.5, 60 points. This game's 44.5. There's a game on opening weekend. Dolphins Raiders is 40.5. Jets Titans is 39.5. Like we've gotten close to having almost double the over under for a game in the CFL this season as what we're seeing for Jets Titans. Like it's it's wild grasping these numbers right now based on what we've seen from the Canadian Football League, where this weekend, the lowest total that we have is 58. And for the NFL, the highest total is 50.5. So it's different wrapping my head around the points for that one. But I'm with Seattle on that one. It's the Australia game that I'm intrigued by because, like, I'm more comfortable the Rams winning. I don't know about the covering of the spread because, like, it's not even like the Rams just aren't used to a home field advantage anyways. Like, this actually might help the Rams that, you know, when the 49ers roll through SoFi, they bring their fans. Their fans definitely show up to SoFi Stadium because it's not that far from Santa Clara and San Francisco. I don't know if you're going to have as much traveling, so this might help the Rams. I have no problem with like a Seahawks -3.5 and the Rams money line, but do you have something different for that game?
No, actually, I think I'm with you on that. Like, I'll definitely hit the Rams, but just there's so much up in the air with this game. You know, obviously it's 2 weeks in the future. You're traveling literally across the world to play the game.
Yep.
Do you know that the game is going to be played at 10 o'clock in the morning? Like local time?
For their bodies.
On Friday?
Wow. Oh, our time or their time?
Their time. Like, it's a 10 a.m. game. And that it's 10 a.m. in Australia. So it's 7:35 or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
6:30, yes. 6:35 here, 7:35 where you were for that game.
And that's Melbourne, right?
Yeah. Which that is still early. I'm trying to, like, the Sunday night slate starts at 11 o'clock Edmonton time, which I think then the soonest is the Broncos don't play those windows. The Western teams don't play those windows generally. So the closest would be like the Vikings, and that would be noon. They would start. So 10 a.m. That's early. That takes these players back to college football almost to a degree.
Yeah, they're 15 hours ahead. So a 7:30 Winnipeg game is 10:30 a.m. in Melbourne, which is just going to be wild. Like, I don't know how I think the team that handles all the weirdness of it will probably be better. And here's the thing. I think, like, as much as I think Sean McVay is absolutely brilliant, I might actually normally give the nod to Kyle Shanahan for maybe being a guy that would have his team organized and prepared to handle all the intricacies of everything. I mean, whatever, it's 6-1, but he's been away from camp half the time dealing with concussion syndrome from the car accident and all that. So I, even if I had to take the spread, I think I might lean Rams in this one, but I do kind of like being a little safer and taking Rams money line, Seahawks -3.5. And that can be a nice little 2-gamer to get people's whistle wet for the weekend. If you just put it in before a boost, what do you get there for those 2 picks?
Let me jump back to it because I jumped away for a quick second. Boom. Plus 191. So we'll get that to 2-1. That'll definitely be 2-1. As for, I think it's already up. Yes, our play for this weekend: Bombers, Ticats, Argos money line, Ottawa plus 10.5, 34-1. They got it at 34-1. Anyway, let's just have some word with that one. Casino Dealer J has Jays, Yankees, Dodgers money line for today. That's plus 330 as well. I'm just quickly looking at week 0 in NCAA football. You've got Bill Belichick and the Tar Heels. They're out in Dublin to take on TCU. TCU -9.5 favorites against Bill Belichick in Dublin. I would take Bill Belichick to cover the 9.5 in North Carolina, as that gets going tomorrow, 10 a.m. our time, 11 o'clock where you are. The other big, like, USC is taking on San Jose State. USC is 14th ranked in the nation going into this game. San Jose State, not expecting a lot here, but like, we're back in college football. 38.5 is the spread for this one. Could the Trojans at home cover 38.5? I would throw those two right there together. And then one of the other ones is North Carolina State taking on Virginia.
I'll tell you what. What about North Dakota State making their debut
Right.
in D1?
And they're
going up
taking on
Jacksonville
Jackson State at the Fargo Dome. And they're eligible for bowl games. Usually when you join, you're not eligible for bowl games for a year or two. They got that waived, so they're going to be eligible. I forgot of that story. Do they, if we put that on their money line, we get North Carolina plus 9.5, USC minus 30.5. Well, if we're just doing spreads, North Dakota State at minus 7, it's plus 578.
Are we taking USC or are we taking the 39 points with San Jose?
I'm taking USC. Lincoln Riley, I feel that there's a hot seat there, I would have to imagine. He's gone there. Yeah. They really haven't done anything to the highest level. I would think that you're going to want to set a nice tone this weekend. You're home. You know, I don't even know what college. San Diego State, what conference are they in? They're the Mountain West. They should get rolled in this game.
Let's put that together. I definitely want to have a little NDSU on the ticket.
Yeah, I love that one. Thank you for bringing that one up. I didn't even clue into that they moved on and it's kind of changing the lower level a little bit. I'll bring that down to 6.5. So it's 558 if I did North Carolina 9.5, USC 38.5, North Dakota State 6.5, plus 556. We can go get that one done. Is it week 0, baby? Week 0.
You know what's funny? I'm just
football.
seeing some lines. Like obviously they've got this stuff tomorrow, but if you go down, like there's just randomly a bunch of games like later on in the season. The big rivalry games that I'm seeing lines for. How about this? Oregon, November 6th, Oregon at Ohio State. Huge game. Ohio State minus 6. Michigan State, Michigan on the 6th of November. Michigan's a 16.5 point favorite. Bama LSU on November 6th. I wonder if those games are, I would imagine Florida, Georgia on Halloween. Oh, can you imagine it being at that game?
That'd be a great way to spend Halloween.
Florida, Georgia, SEC battle on Halloween. My God. Ohio State's an 8.5 point favorite at USC, October 30th. I was looking to see if there's any other big ones. Indiana, 6 point favorites at Michigan. What do you think about Indiana? Like, I won't expect you to know all the ins and outs. I mean, obviously Mendoza's gone.
That's the big one.
But with the way the transfer portal works,
I don't know if they got a quarterback.
I didn't know who their quarterback is, but I'm sure he'll be awesome.
Wow, but that's the question. Like, you know, they had Curtis Rourke 2 years ago. They were good enough to get to the playoffs, but didn't look good enough in the playoffs. Last year, Mendoza is there, dominates, wins Heisman, first overall pick. Where's that QB play for Indiana? And that's going to be, you know, we'll learn through the first few weeks where that is. Great, well coached, good team. They found something where they found the older players as opposed to just having younger players. Grab those 4 or 5 year starters and really just try to bully some teams out there. But if you don't have a quarterback, you ain't going to win. So we'll have to wait. And I don't know enough. The biggest quarterback transfer was the guy from Duke that went to Miami. That was probably the biggest one of the biggest QB transfers. And some of the other transfers, I don't remember anyone going to Indiana. So I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Put up the roster here right now. Quarterbacks, 3 freshmen, 2 seniors. So I guess.
Oh, Josh Hoover transferred to Indiana from TCU ahead of this season.
Okay.
So he's the big one. So can he replicate something close to what Mendoza had? But Mendoza did some magical things. Like even in that national championship game, there's that one touchdown run where he broke so many tackles and he thought he was going to be down multiple times. I don't know if he will be able to go replicate that on. And hey, Patty's in the chat. Josh Hoover from TCU. We will go see. But that's part of the why I'm all over Bill Belichick and UNC and the Tar Heels covering 9.5 out in Dublin tomorrow. As week 0 gets going here. Huss, what do you got coming up on WST before you head off to Estonia?
Yeah, well, we'll probably talk about the Bomber game for 5 minutes. Mo Cons actually is going to jump on. We'll just set this one up tonight. But Sean Reynolds from Sportsnet's coming on, Hammer, Jeff Hamilton. And we'll do a quick NFL notebook with Hacksaw, do some marbles, and get ready for this game tonight down at Princess Auto Stadium.
We may have had a WST or an ESTer win with the 55-yard line last week on the marbles.
Oh, is ESTer 55-yard line?
We think he's one of ours.
Clarify that, because
I think I know who it might be, which then he is an ESTer. But that there's a question. Like, I know a lot of ESTers like an ESTer finally won. 55-yard line, he's always in our chat for sure. I think I know which nasty he is. He may have been the first ESTer to win your marbles.
Okay, well, listen, if anyone, if you can confirm that with me, we need the identity or at least the home field of the 55-yard line. Is it Commonwealth or is it Princess Auto Stadium? And that's big. That's big. The drought is over. And if it happens, you know, it probably happens a few more times. Like, quick, because there's a lot of ESTers that come in. So we'll be there today around 2 p.m. your time. Get in a little early. Make sure you get your marble in, and maybe EST can go back to back if, of course, the 55-yard line claims allegiance to the Nasties.
Haas, all the best with your trip, your fishing. We will talk to you after. Voting will be done by the time you're back. So hashtag justice for the Lock Shop show of the year. Let's get that done. Haas, enjoy.
Please. One final please vote for the Lock Shop. We have been screwed repeatedly. I think Iwanyk also deserves a lot of credit for hosting while the usual host has been away repeatedly throughout this year. Let's get this going. You can give Dusty the business if need be, but Lock Shop straight to the top like a rocket. And maybe I will send you guys a video or some sort of a dispatch from Estonia next week in the big poker tourney out taking on the world's best.
Good luck with that as well, Huss. Enjoy. We'll talk to you when you're back.
You got it. Follow me on the socials. I'll have some fun stuff coming from Estonia all week.
Can't wait. Winnipeg Sports Talk, that's coming up in just a few minutes. Him and Remus. Go check them out. They always do great stuff. I know a bunch of us were jumping on their channel yesterday with all the news with Hellebuyck. Okay, I thought Hernan would be switching here, but he's got Oil Stream, I'm assuming. So he's not here. I said I was going to do a EPL play for tomorrow, so I'm going to pick 3 games here before I wrap up. So I'm going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to go a little late on this one. I am going to... Oh, Tottenham Newcastle. That's a tough one. You got Coventry City and Hull. Hull just had that big win. Coventry's home. I'm going to take Coventry City in this one. I'm not touching United and Ipswich. Aston is just getting decimated. They're taking on Liverpool. Oh, that's next week. Who's Liverpool got this week? Liverpool is Nottingham Forest. I don't really like that one. I don't mind Everton against Bournemouth for some reason. I'll take that one. You know, Tottenham Newcastle does kind of feel like a draw, maybe. Leeds, Brentford. You know something? Hey, I'm going to take it. I don't care if somebody gets mad for being late, Matt. Well, I know Hernan was supposed to be here to help me pick this. And Benny's not going to care about any of this stuff.
What do you mean?
Soccer picks? You got one?
Yeah, I got one.
Who do you got?
Lionel Messi, anytime goal.
How about the EPL this weekend? Specifically, this is about the EPL. Does anyone have a play for me? Because I right now got Coventry and Everton both to win. Right now, I'm debating Leeds United and Brentford. Do I take Leeds, draw, or Brentford?
Brentford.
Okay, there. You're in this.
Bang.
Done. That's going to be my EPL pay. Thank you for everyone for tuning in to the Lock Shop presented by Play Alberta. Lots of plays over there on EST Specials. Oil Stream coming up next. We got EST Afternoons, Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. It is Jay and Benny. Elks Call later tonight on our audio streams. Tomorrow, Pipeline Show, What Were We Saying? And then Sunday, VIP Golf Show, Murray McCourt. His second last show for this season. That's all to come. And then we'll be back with full live programming on Monday. On behalf of Huss, I'm Iwanyk. Thanks for tuning in to the Lock Shop right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, brought to you by Play Alberta. Oil Stream in just a few minutes with Trev and Hernan. Don't go anywhere. Have a wonderful weekend.